We're gonna be late.
Yeah. I know, it took me forever to get ready this morning. I mean, surprisingly, I can't seem to concentrate on anything else.
I don't want you to be nervous. You have a very good case of reasonable doubt. I prepared a very good closing argument. Lucky's testimony was very... I'll get it. Just relax. Is that...
Ross's blood, yeah. No matter what I've done, I can't seem to get it out.
You did not kill Ross Duncan. You were framed. So you walked in that courtroom with your head held high, and you looked the jurors in the eye, and you let them know that you're innocent.
I want to thank you for defending me, Alexis. I know despite all our differences, you've done a really great job.
You thank me when you're acquitted. I will. Let's go in there and win.
Hello, family.
I thought I told you not to leave the office today.
I'm the CEO. I don't take orders from anybody.
How on earth could you be so spiteful as to want to send Skye to prison? What am I saying? Of course I know how you could be that spiteful.
Skye is an interloper, a con.
Ma, isn't that the pot calling the kettle black?
The three of you are acting like I framed Skye.
We're not so sure you didn't.
Skye is guilty. And the jury is going to see it just as I do and send her to prison, where she belongs.
Hey, thanks for coming.
I mean, this is important to you, and Skye's always made an effort towards me.
Yeah, you know, Skye's been through so much in her life. I just wish I could have done more.
Hey, you helped her as much as you could, Jax, and now you're here to support her. That's all anyone can ask for.
Ms. Quartermaines, do you still expect to be exonerated? Was Tracy Quartermaines' testimony accurate?
My client expects to be acquitted. We have no further comment at this time.
Listen, please back off now.
Are you okay?
No, but I'm doing a reasonable limitation.
Hey, everything's gonna work out.
Jax, thank you so much for being here.
Why don't you take her inside?
Sure.
Do you think she's going to be found innocent?
In order to do that, I'm going to have to prove that she was framed, which means I'm going to have to cast suspicion on your mother, and I wish there was some other way.
Well, Skye didn't do this, and no, it looks like my mom did, so just do whatever you can to get Skye off.
Laura, you have such a beautiful family. You have Luke and Lucky and Lulu. Don't throw it all away for revenge that isn't even necessary. Just let me go.
Fact. Skye Quartermaine was in her house the night that Ross Duncan died. Fact. Luke Spencer and Skye Quartermaine had a terrible fight. Fact. Skye Quartermaine had been drinking. Heavily. Bad judgment doesn't prove that she murdered anyone. When Luke Spencer arrived at Skye Quartermaine's house, he found her unconscious. She was passed out, with Ross Duncan dead on the floor below. There was no sign of a struggle on Skye Quartermaine's body. There was absolutely no blood whatsoever found on Skye Quartermaine. And she was in such an inebriated state, it would almost seem impossible for her to find the strength to stab anybody. Both Skye and Luke were convinced that Skye was framed. And Luke was someone that she trusted, someone that she was in love with. He told her that he would help her find the real killer. She believed him, and she agreed to cover up Ross Duncan's death. Really bad judgment. But again, doesn't prove that she murdered anybody. In fact, she didn't murder Ross Duncan. It was a crime of passion. The killer is still at large. She escaped from a mental institution that she was sent to for killing her stepfather. The killer is Laura Spencer, Luke Spencer's estranged wife. In her delusional state, she returned, tried to reunite with Luke, and she found Luke courting Skye Quartermaine. She tried to kill Skye Quartermaine. She tried to eliminate her in the park. She was spotted wielding a knife at Skye Quartermaine in front of 2 police officers, one of which is seated right here in this courtroom, one of which is Laura Spencer's own son, who you heard testify that he believes that Skye Quartermaine is innocent. If you convict Skye Quartermaine, you are letting Laura Spencer free to perhaps hurt somebody else, to perhaps kill somebody else. Who's next? Who knows? Luke Spencer is missing without explanation. Where is he? Does anyone know? There are so many unanswered questions here. And if there are unanswered questions, this is clearly a case of reasonable doubt. And if it's a case of reasonable doubt, you cannot convict Skye Quartermaine. Please do not convict an innocent woman of a crime that someone else did. Thank you.
This murder happened for one reason and one reason only. Obsessive love. Skye Quartermaine's love for Luke Spencer. The defense has placed Skye Quartermaine with the victim the night of his murder. They allow that Skye tried to cover up this murder, moving the body 3 times. The defense has also admitted that the murder weapon belonged to Skye Quartermaine. Her fingerprints were on it. It was found in her place of business, hidden. The only thing the defense has not presented to you is a photograph of Skye plunging the ice pick into Detective Ross Duncan's body. Ladies and gentlemen, I can assure you that very few juries have been handed an actual photograph of the crime after it's been committed. And I can also assure you that very few juries have been handed the mountain of evidence that is before you. There's one other piece of evidence that Miss Davis failed to bring up in her closing argument. A letter from Luke Spencer condemning Skye. A letter an expert handwriting analyst has testified was written by Luke Spencer himself. A letter from a man who realized, too late, just how desperate Skye was to hold on to him. Skye Quartermaine killed Detective Ross Duncan. She wanted Laura Spencer out of the way, permanently. And as for Lucky Spencer's testimony as to Skye's innocence, well, I think his credibility lies in the fact that he sits in loving support next to Emily Quartermaine, Skye's adoptive sister. Laura Spencer was not the perpetrator of this crime, ladies and gentlemen. She was the collateral victim. She was the person that Skye Quartermaine used and tried to frame for her own crime. Ross Duncan was a police officer who served his community well. Skye Quartermaine murdered him without any remorse. Now, it is your job, it is your duty to make sure that she realizes that death will not go unpunished. And with that, the people humbly ask you to return a verdict of guilty. Thank you.
Court is in recess pending jury deliberation.